You saw that, hey?
Yeah.
I guess one of the difficulties you probably all have is how you pay your writers or don't.
Right.
And I'm assuming that in Canada-wide, your writers are paid.
You'd be assuming
For the most part.
Wrong.
Well,
See, I don't know how you expect young writers to get on board if you're not going to pay them.
Yeah, I think I've been chatting quite a bit about this with Matt O'Grady, who's the editor of BC Business, and this is extending to the magazine in some ways now. But one way that we can have top quality content but don't have to pay too much for it, there's a number of ways that you can sort of bridge that gap, but one is, and we've been developing this in our blog section, you get people who are self-interested parties to blog for you. And this is where we get to the wall between church and state.
And
Advertising.
the ethical issue comes up.
I'm sorry?
And the ethical issue comes
Absolutely
up.
it does. So for example, we have a great blogger, one of the most popular and successful on the site, David Allison, who runs a creative services and branding firm in Vancouver, and is a branding expert. Obviously has a business that he's running and interests that extend from that. Happens also to be a great blogger and a branding mind. And so you have a situation in which there's good content to be had from him. You have to keep an eye on how much shilling is involved in it, with the implicit idea that there is going to be some. I think this gets the idea of transparency in new media, though, as well. There's no secret who this guy is and what his angles are, and he cops to it in his article. He says, "Oh, I'm representing Brooks Brothers or whatever it is," and talks about this great new, kind of a contest model that they had or something like that. So there's a kind of transparency there.
I'd like to speak to it too.
Yeah.
I think that maybe there's a difference in, like, I'm not sure, tell me what you think, but the Vancouver Observer is made up of all volunteers. And at this point, I'm basically a volunteer too. And so we're not a corporation that is like making gobs of money somewhere and with executives that are pocketing the money. What we basically are is a public service for the community to try to cover parts of life in Vancouver that have gone either uncovered or poorly covered. And because a lot of people feel that way, they're willing to jump in and donate some of their time. It's like a bunch of community servants in journalism. Now, how do you fund that model in some way? How do I sustain myself into the future? That's the question, and I don't have the answer for it yet. I struggle with it every day. But I think our models are different.
Yeah, the vast majority of the writers on the Tyee are paid, and it's the vast majority of our resources, our small staff and our much larger the group of freelance writers. But it's a real ethical issue for us. I mean, we put a lot of importance on it because there was a real recognition, and there always will be, that content is the most important thing. The reason that the Tyee has been winning awards this year is because that's where we put all our resources. And we followed a very traditional journalism model on a new platform. But it's not an easy business model, and I don't think anybody really has the solutions, whether they're online only or print.
Just, if you could elaborate, where's the revenue coming from to pay the writers?
Well, the Tyee is a combination of investors. I would say they're beyond angel investors. If there's something more than an angel, they're more than that. To say that they're patient capital is an understatement. We do certainly have an advertising stream that's growing, and we have done a number of fundraisers with our readers. So we have some fellowship funds that are held at a foundation, and we've put our time and energy and resources into fundraising through those, and the money goes directly to writers. So the Tyee doesn't actually see a monetary benefit, but it does see some very strong content. And over 6 years, our readers have donated about $90,000 to the Tyee, which is a small part of our budget, but it's not insignificant. And It's also a real testament to, I think, how we've engaged our readers and the loyalty they